Hello everyone, my name is Clementine. Welcome back to Clementine Creative. I'm back with another video. This time we're looking at a little bit a different video. We're looking at a video where I'm sketching buildings. This is something I said in the previous video that I will be... why am I using video so much? I discussed this the last time, and I said I'm going to be doing sketches of buildings, so you're going to get a better idea of how perspective is sometimes really necessary to make your designs believable. And when you're doing buildings, that is especially true. Like I said, I wanted to branch out into different type of videos. That's why I'm now doing also some buildings. I'm trying to smooth you guys into basically into this world of environments. But let's really just begin with explaining as to what is happening and how is all of this gonna continue. So you see me sketch out some of these buildings, simple designs, not anything complicated, and the perspective is broken on some parts. But here you're gonna see me actually put in a perspective grid and fix the building, make sure that it's at least somewhat in perspective so the sketch can hold up. While you're sketching or doing thumbnails, you don't want to worry about perspective too much, because if you've been doing it for a while, it comes naturally. But you can see me always start with just basic shapes. I start off with like these cubes that I put in perspective. That's because a lot of buildings look like cubes, the ones that we humans make, and it's very easy to just use that as a base and then sort of follow on that, work on that, and it really helps out with the whole perspective. And you can see there's a lot of mistakes here. Some of these lines don't actually follow in the perspective, but that's something that I fixed later on. But you can see I have a very good, or at least a decent amount of experience with perspective, that I know that the building on the bottom is we see it from almost a straight on view, while the higher up we go, the more we see the inside of the actual building. If there's a roof, we're gonna see the inside of the roof. And that just all comes with experience. You tend to understand this. It naturally comes to you. It sounds a little bit cocky the way I'm saying it. I'm not trying to be like say that basically I'm not trying to say that you gotta be a complete badass to do this. This is very basic. I think that a lot of people have that idea of how that works already. And if you don't, that's no big problem. You just learn it. That's all there is to it. So again, I'm not trying to be cocky, make it sound like I'm the complete badass here. This is very basic stuff, and I don't think I should be really that proud of it. But it is, it is something that you can learn relatively quickly, especially if you really love art. I feel like it'll stay with you much longer, just because you love art and you just remembered it because you like it. A lot of times for me, it's just trial and error. You try and it works, and then you just kind of learn from it. And it really helps me to understand this. I make it sound like, again, like I'm some kind of pro. To me, it just helps to make a bunch of cubes, and if you stack cubes on each other, it's impossible to see them from one straight point of view, right? And if you draw the perspective grid, it'll actually come in automatically. You won't even have to think about it, because if you follow the lines, you will automatically create perspective. So there's a lot of ways you can achieve the same thing, and eventually you're gonna know this without actually having to draw the perspective lines when you're sketching out. And that's the same with characters, so you don't have to draw all the sketches with poses or whatever to be able to start off, or any of the guidelines. You just go in it and you do it, right? And that's the same with environments. Of course, you can see here there's a lot of like weird things going on as far as perspective goes. But what we're trying to do here is not draw perfect perspective. We're not trying to focus that a perspective is going to be focused. We're just the perspective is going to be perfect. We're trying to focus that this building is going to look nice, that it's going to have functionality. You're trying to immerse yourself in this world, and you're thinking, what would I want? Where would I want to sit? You can create any world you want, and you can create literally the perfect building with the perfect view, because it's a video game world. We don't need to have a nice, like this nice restaurant that is in the middle of a stinking city. You know what I mean? You can have a nice restaurant or a nice bar or whatever in the middle of in the nature. because it's a video game world, so you really have that freedom to do whatever you want. So when you're drawing environments, try to imagine where would you want to be, or what would you feel if you drawing buildings. What would you want to have? Maybe what would you like these items to be placed in a specific room, right? So you kind of think of yourself as if you're already in the game. How would you like to experience it? I'm saying a game, I mean this world. If you're in this world, how would you like to experience this world? And you basically draw from that. Here I'm just coming up with ideas, and I'm saying, you know, what would be the most ideal way to look at this tower, and how would it look like, and you know, and then you just add some random, you know, things here and there, and you can just flush out these designs later on as you're going into the actual or not designing process, but more like the refining process. The refining process would, I guess, be where you really flush out some of the shapes, and you know, the design just has a lot more sense, and you know, it's not so sketchy, not so loose. You define it a lot more. But for the beginnings, you always want to start off loose. You don't want to constrain yourself too much. You want to have these happy accidents. You want to, you know, open up your mind for different things, you know, things that you might have not anticipated, because they can create some really interesting things. So here you see me doing this kind of gate with the walls. Again, I'm not doing any specific buildings. I'm just, you know, building a world. You know, all of these are sort of in the same country. You can see they have the same kind of look to them. And I'm basically just constructing a world, you know, different parts of maybe this village or this town. And I'm doing these from different perspectives, so you get an idea, you know, that buildings can be drawn from different views depending on, you know, what you want to show. In the bar there, we are making it top down, almost a bird eye, but not really, but we're just a little bit higher up, so we can get to see the tables and everything. Here in the wall, you know, where this gate is, we're lower, so we get the sense that it's a little bit bigger, that it's an actual wall. Here, let's say we're going to be drawing a temple gate that, you know, on the stairs that leads into, I guess, a temple or something. We don't know what it is, but I draw it on a perspective where when the viewer sees it, it's like, what is it there? You know, I wonder. It's on the top. There's got to be something nice in there, right? I mean, the way it's just inviting, right? The way these stairs are looking at you, the way these the wall and the gates are placed, it seems very tempting. You want to see what's behind that you know, blank space where you can go through. But yeah, we're actually closing in on the end of this video. We only have about 2 minutes left. As you see, I actually added another pair of stairs. It's just to deepen and make it, you know, really high up, the entire building, just to make it, or the gates, just to make it so that it looks like, you know, we have a far way to go before we reach the end. So here I'm now drawing a really top-down view, trying to get a better idea. This could be used for some kind of RPG games that, you know, have a top-down view where, you know, you get to have a bigger sense of your environment. But yeah, all these views, very simple things. It's all just perspective. And, you know, remember, I always start off with just simply drawing everything in squares, you know, and then I kind of go off and get my, you know, get my grasp of my surroundings as far as, you know, designing goes. But yeah, that's it for this video. It's gonna be actually over in a minute. I hope you enjoyed it. It is a little bit different. You know, buildings and whatnot is not something I've done on this channel a lot, but I think that, you know, you might find something interesting in it anyways. So here I'm now going to showcase all the buildings. And like so, we have like this blacksmith shop, I guess you could say, and then we have this tavern. We have a watchtower here, and then what's next? Well, we have this temple stairs. The next one will be this wall, and of course this area. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Everything changes.